what's crazy is that the guy at the top, he should be the perfect example.
They
right?
should be, yeah.
The guy at the top should be doing it. The guy at the top, look, when you treat people, like I treat you and I treat the gardener the same. I don't treat you any different than I treat the gardener. When I text the gardener, you know what I tell the gardener? I go, hey man, I just was wondering, I'd sent you this video. I was wondering if you could take care of this little area right here because I need some help. And you know, would you mind? And he says, yeah, no problem. Take it. And I text him. I go, man, you're awesome, man. I appreciate you, man. You rock. You know, and I'll tell him stuff like that. Life is pretty good. It ain't perfect, but it's really, really good.
You know, that's actually the beauty of life, is riding all the highs and the lows. I think if life was just good all the time, it'd be so boring. Like, where's the excitement if it's just level good all the time? I actually really enjoy having the bad things happen, because that honestly, for me at least, makes the good things just so much better.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, life definitely has its ups and downs. It's just that I do believe that a lot of the decisions that we're making every day, right? All the just the consistent decisions that we're making are affecting the goods and the bads, right? So my life, for the most part, at least 28 years in business, my life has been pretty good, just simply because I made a lot of good choices, especially early on when all my friends were partying, when all my friends were doing stupid shit. I decided not to. After I got into business and I got focused, put my head in the sand, and I said, I'm going to go and get what I want to go get. And it's amazing. I started rubbing elbows with a bunch of millionaires and people doing really, really well. And that's the one thing I found out, is that these people, a lot of them, they made really consistent choices, you know, good habits. And, you know, so I look back and I look at the challenges that I've had in my life. They're generally because of some dumb decisions that I made.
Yeah, and you can actually tell by just getting to know you a little bit that you genuinely enjoy life, and that's based on whatever decisions you've made in the past to get to where you are now.
Right.
So like, I've met a lot of people, and I'm a really good person reader too. Met a lot of people who seem to have it all. They got the cars, they got the mansion in Beverly Hills, they got the vacation home in wherever, Miami, Florida, like, and they're still missing something. You can see it in their eyes. They're still missing something. But for you, I can see genuine happiness, which is really cool.
So many people are flaky. And I hope people watch this, and I hope people recognize that I'm not just trying to be mean. I'm stating a fact. People are flaky, and you need to cut that shit out, because if you're flaky, you are damaging your life, because you're not going to be successful or as successful as you want to be if you're a freaking flake. I'm sorry. It's just not possible, because eventually, and I was going to say before, so I always thought about credibility as like change in your pocket. So imagine your pockets full of money, full of change. Well, every time you don't keep your word, you got to give away money. You got to give, you know, you got to take the money out of your pocket. You got to give it to the person that you flaked on, right? Well, eventually, one day you reach in there to grab some money, and you reach out and it's like it's gone, right? You have no credibility anymore. Nobody trusts you. Nobody likes you. Nobody wants to be around you.
Yeah, no one's going to do business.
Nobody's going to do business with you because you're a flake. And I think also us as human beings, right? When you flake that many times, people don't trust you, but guess who doesn't also trust you? Yourself doesn't trust you. And when you lose your own self-trust, when you lose your own self-respect, like when you don't respect yourself anymore, you're done. You're done. You can't get out of bed because you don't respect yourself. You can't get out of bed. You want to sleep in late. You don't feel good about yourself. You're depressed. You don't feel right because you're a flaky person. And I think that's, to me, that's something that if anybody wants to be successful at anything, they got to get that down. They got to figure that part out about their life because it is hurting them big time.
Right. And, it's sadly not just a thing with, people who are still trying to make it or at the bottom. Like, I've noticed this with people who've already made it too. So many of them are flaky. Like, I had on a really big guest. I'm not going to name drop because I'm still grateful that he came on because he's a pretty big figure, but he still showed up like a half hour late.
Wow.
Maybe it's a little more than a half hour. And then he just had the attitude of that he was just so much like better than the podcast that he was coming to. So that was really annoying. And then after all of that, at the end, he's like, "Hey, James, you should come to my mastermind."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For 10 grand, Yeah.
Yeah. So he drops that later.
Right.
So I'm like, "Oh yeah, that'd be cool." And then he like gets my number and stuff. Right. So I'll send you the details. And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's only $5,000."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, like you acted like you're doing me a favor. Like, I really don't have a need to buy your real estate mastermind. Like, I'm not in the real estate space."
I wouldn't have bought it from him anyways because he's a flaky guy. He's a flaky guy and he doesn't do what he says he's going to do. I mean, to me, one of the most important things that anybody, if they're going to get it right, is just be your word, man. Right? If you say you're going to do something, do it. I'm telling you, this is another pandemic, I think, in people's mind. It's, people struggle so bad with, they say, "Oh, hey, honey, can you take care of this for me? Would you mind doing that for me?" Or, "Hey, buddy, can you do this for me? Would you mind?" Like, doesn't mean you have to do it for me. You can always say no. You don't have to say yes to everything that everybody asks you. I would rather, if I don't know for sure that I can do something for somebody, I'll just say, "Look, I'm not sure. I'm not going to promise anything. Let me check my schedule. Let me figure out kind of what's going on, and then I'll let you know." And so anyway, that's a pretty bad trait for people as well, is just not keeping their word.
Yeah, and especially if like you're up and coming too, I think just those simple things like being reliable, that's what's going to get you to the next step.
But what's crazy is that the guy at the top, he should be the perfect example.
They should be, yeah.
The guy at the top should be doing it. The guy at the top. Look, when you treat people like I treat you, and I treat the gardener the same. I don't treat you any different than I treat the gardener. When I text the gardener, you know what I tell the gardener? I go, "Hey, man, I just was wondering, I sent you this video. I was wondering if you could take care of this little area right here because I need some help. And, would you mind?" And he says, yeah, no problem. And I text him, I go, "Man, you're awesome, man. I appreciate you, man. You rock." And I'll tell him stuff like that. So I don't treat people that serve me or treat the baggage guy or the whatever, I don't treat them differently because I make money. I mean, come on, it's money. It's digits on a computer screen. I just have a few more digits than other people. But who am I? You can't walk around like you're the shit, And I don't care how much money you have. You look at an Elon Musk or something like that. Dude's a cool guy, man. He'll have a conversation with you. He'll tell you like it is. He'll laugh. He'll joke around because he's at the top, and I'll, because I'm trying to move up or whatever. Because I want something from that guy. That to me shows the true character of the person. You should treat everybody good, man. You should, I don't care. I mean, I've been into houses where there were freaking dirt balls on the floor. You know what I mean? It's like, now, I didn't like that, but I didn't say nothing. I still treated them with respect. Maybe they were just had hard times, or maybe just stuff was happening or whatever. But you got to treat people good, man. You got to treat people with love and kindness and trying to do the best you can. I'm not perfect, but I try.
Yeah, nobody's perfect, but putting that effort in just to simply show some common respect.
Yeah,
that goes a long way.
If you like this video and you want to watch another one, click right here.